taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
It's balls out, no doubt. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Full Velocity Network. Live tonight at the Richmond International Raceway. Hang out with our buddies from the Hobo Racing League tonight. The Hobo Racing Xfinity Series, race number 26 of the season. Here tonight, the cars and the stars of Hobo Racing all taking center stage at the 3/4 mile track we know in Virginia. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for joining us this evening. My name is Phil Lacasse, along with Todd Stanton. Joe Allen, as always, at the control for us here on FVN. And to my buddy, last minute Todd Stanton, getting me all frazzled here just before we go on the air, buddy. Good to have you aboard, as always, and awesome field of cars we have on hand. Always good to come over to Hobo, see Steve and Bino and all the guys. Gonna have a good show ahead.
Yeah, definitely a good show ahead in store for us, Phil. And it wouldn't be Last Minute Todd without making you frazzled tonight. I enjoy doing that each and every week. If I'm getting here early, there's something wrong with me. Maybe I got the flu. Maybe I got a common cold. Who knows what's wrong with me? But I enjoy getting you frazzled right before these shows because it makes you better.
Well, I sure hope it makes me better, but I'm sure a guy who also shares in the headache of the enigma that is known as Todd Stanton is our buddy, the Jet, Joe Allen. Joe at the controls for us here tonight. Joe, on the air, awesome show we're going to have here at Hobo, 120 laps at Richmond, and an awesome crowd. I mean, these guys always, give us great shows anytime we come to Hobo. And for the first time for us with Full Velocity, I think we're in for a really good night ahead.
Oh, absolutely. We've done some awesome shows for these guys in the past. Steve Rubino, Bino over there, and a couple other guys that are common names around Hobo Racing. Always come and put on a good show. I expect some fun, action-packed racing here tonight. Our second trip to Richmond so far this week. It's certainly going to be a fun one, guys. The Hobo Racing 120. If you look on screen right now, you'll see some new graphics of the race overlay information that we're displaying out there. They're running a cool 70 degrees. Clear, no wind out there, 120 laps. Single file restarts a little bit different here. We're used to seeing double file restarts. They run the old NASCAR rules with the single file. And of course, we're at the Richmond Raceway, 3/4 mile, half oval basically. So it's gonna be a fun night tonight, guys. I'm super excited to come over here and do this for these guys. They're a class act, classy bunch, and they put on some great racing.
They certainly do. Hats off to Steve Rubino, all the guys over here at Hobo. Great bunch of guys to hang out with and talk to. Check these guys out. HoboRacing.com. Come be a part of all the great racing, just like we have here with the Xfinity Series here tonight. Race number 26. Cal Lovell coming in tonight with the point lead. 129 points better on Isaac Johnson. Jeff Fugate, 247 back. 372 back. The dog, John Palmer, and Ryan Johnson running at your top 5 in the current standings. A lot of familiar names. A lot of guys I haven't talked to in quite a long time, so we'll see if we can't maybe get them up here tonight. It's going to be a fast night. 120 laps at the Richmond International Raceway. So before we get down to the grid and to the green flag, first of all, let's go pay tribute to this great nation of ours, the United States of America, and the playing of tonight's national anthem. and the playing of the national anthem to get us started here live on Full Velocity tonight. And of course, we can't, play the national anthem without giving thanks to everybody out there, our military, our first responders, all the awful weather stuff going on, down in the Texas area, Houston area especially, and now in the southeast part of the country. Thoughts and prayers with you all, and we just give you a due here. Hope to get your head away from all that. If you're catching us here later on in a tape delay variety, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're aboard. We're here at the Hobo Racing Xfinity Series. 120 laps around the Richmond International Raceway tonight will make up this great event. Race number 26 and Todd Stanton. We have a great field of cars on hand. They're getting ready to take the grid, so let's dive straight into tonight's starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup live from the Richmond International Raceway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 12, that's Cal Lovell. And outside of him, driving the number 51, that's Nebelsick.
Rolling off our number 2, we find a row of teammates here. Inside, we find the number 9, that is Jeff Fugate. And to his outside, aboard the 31, that's Jeff Stakanis.
Inside row number 3, starting that 5th starting position, familiar face here to us, the 72, that's Isaac Johnson. Outside of him, driving the number 41, that's Josh Boyer.
Rolling off tonight from position number 7, in car number 46, welcome to Full Velocity. The 46 is Aaron Maynard. And to his outside, aboard car number 99. Also a first-timer here to Full Velocity, that's Jacob Simpson. Let's go trackside for tonight's command.
Say it with me. Drivers, start!
Inside row number 5, starting in that 9th starting position, driving the number 710, that's Manny Diaz. And outside of him, driving the number 44, that's Danny Rubino.
Rolling off of row number 6 tonight in the 11th position, aboard car number 21, that is Steve Rubino. And to his outside, the 59, that is Duke Sorensen.
Next row back, Rich Napick in the number 6. Outside of him is the number 73, that's Herman Reese.
Jeff Rogers rolls off next tonight in the 91, and Ron Simpson will roll off in the 25.
MT Johnson brings up the next row with Austin LaPlante, his dancing partner to the outside.
Wild Bill will roll off from 19th. The Dog, John Palmer, Ryan Johnson, Rich Fenkel, Kennard Furtick, Rob Keller, Mike Halgrimson. That's our full field here. 25 drivers take the green flag. 120 laps around the Richmond International Raceway. Pace truck is in, and Todd Stanton for the first time. Green flag is in the air.
Yeah, green flag is in the air. The UPS sponsored machine, the number 12, that's Cal Laval. He is right now your current race leader. Driving in the second spot is the number 51, who was your outside pole sitter. That's Nebelsick. And that number 51 machine, bright green sponsored car. I tell you, it's got a bunch of different sponsors on it, but it's bright out there on the track. You could not miss that car.
No, can't miss Roger Nebelsick whatsoever. That second place running number 51. First up and coming here, coming through the field. Runner-up in the point standings as we speak, the number 72 of Isaac Johnson. He restarted outside the top 5. He's now up to 4th as we have a yellow flag on the speedway. Yellow for the first time tonight, just as we working lap number 3. Looks like something going amiss with the number 25 machine of Ron Simpson. So that'll take and give us here just a brief minute to let Joe Allen to get all sorted out with the first Full Velocity replay of the night. But looking through these first couple of laps, Todd, looks like Richmond's going to be an awfully racy racetrack, just as we saw on it for us a few nights ago. And with these guys out here in the Xfinity cars, it's certainly going to be a really cool racetrack to watch these guys go around.
Yeah, definitely going to be a cool racetrack to watch these guys go around. Again, in a different kind of physics there for the nationwide type of cars, the Xfinity cars, I should say, now that they call these the GNS physics. It's going to be interesting to see these guys go around here, Phil. It's a different ball game, but again, Richmond, same old story with Richmond. It is a rhythm track. You got to stay in rhythm. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. Joe Allen, Joey the Jet, actually, down there in the broadcast trailer with our replay of what happened out there.
Yes, sir, guys. A little bit of a different look here. We're going to focus our attention on the number 25 machine of, I believe that's Ron Simpson. Unfortunately, just some troubles for him out there on the racetrack. I didn't quite see what happened leading up to this point. If I rewind this a little bit, you'll guys see that his car actually disappears off of the screen right there. But he's definitely turned around in the wrong direction there, so it looks like he had some issues as far as getting spun around there, and that's what brought out this first caution. Not sure if there was any contact looking back through the replay or not. Might have been a little bit of a warp issue, unfortunately, for him. So tough break for that number 25 machine, but he'll get himself turned back around, put some fresh 4 tires, bang out the damage, and he'll get this thing back underway. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Ron Simpson pulling away there. Stuff happening here in turn number 2, which is typical of Richmond there, Todd. Anytime you get out here, Richmond, cold tires, setups, usually we hear fixed setups tonight. So the normal ruling, thinking at Richmond, these things usually start off with cold tires, a little tad bit on the loose side. So, no surprise at all to see a car go around on cold tires off of turn 2, and this one gobbles up old Ron Simpson.
Yeah, it's no different than any other Richmond track. This is the Brian Ring version of Richmond, so there is a little bit more of a top groove of Richmond. I didn't even realize that Brian Ring made a Richmond track, and I go a long ways back, and I have a lot of tracks out there. But I had to download this track tonight, Phil. I know you did too. But it's interesting. Brian Ring tracks go way back, and they usually have more of a top groove. And it was interesting to see him start spinning out early.
Sophia working its way off of turn number 4 behind the beautiful, full velocity pace car we have here tonight. We're waiting to see if the lights will maybe go out this time around atop the pace car. Cal Lovell, our point leader coming into the evening, our current race leader, the pole sitter. Roger Nebelsick on the outside will be outside. So used double file restart. They're going to do single file, it says Joe told us here. Nebelsick second. Jeff Fugate currently third. Isaac Johnson fourth. Jeff Stakane is fifth. Jacob Simpson is sixth. Josh Boyer seventh. Aaron Maynard eighth. Danny Rubino ninth. And Duke Sorensen the 59. That'll round that your top 10. Just watching the field come off of turn number 4. 25 drivers here taking the green flag tonight. Looks like we have one off the lead lap, which would be the reason for the delayed caution flag. Looks like Kennard Furtick may have missed the call here for the grid. He is currently one lap down to the field, so we have an elongated yellow here, one extra lap. Kennard will take the wave around. He'll put himself back to the lead lap, so all 25 drivers here that make up this field for the 120-lap showdown at Richmond tonight will go back to the lead lap, but that'll turn the field back over to that UPS Ford, the point leader, the number 12 of Cal Lovell. We've seen Cal here run very, very strong over the years. Anytime we come to Hobo, the pride of Kentucky, and no doubt about it, being the point leader, a multiple-time winner in the series this year. He's going to be a player, all evening long. Roger Nebelsick, no slouch in his own right. Seen him run really good over the years as well. Can't count out the rest of the top 5 either, right? But anybody in this field. Keep an eye on the likes of Jeff Fugate, Isaac Johnson, Jeff Stakanis. A star-studded field here at Hobo tonight. And Todd are about to put the loud pedal down, as you would say, and go back to green flag racing.
Yeah, loud pedal is down. We're back to green flag racing down here into turn number 1, trying to get my camera situated here coming through the field. Lovell into the corner here. Got about a 2-car length advantage. The 51. Handful of steering wheel there. Nebelsick, it was all kinds of out of shape in that 51. That was an amazing save by him. He is still running in that second spot, but that had to hurt the tires just a tad bit on that 51. The number 9 is running in that third spot. A yellow flag going to fly once again here. Second yellow flag here in 9 laps.
Yeah, second yellow flag early on. This is something just not too unexpected here with cold tires at Richmond. So I'm sure Stephen, Danny, all the guys over here at Hobo will talk to the drivers, try to settle them down. Preach, all patience here at Richmond. Let these tires get a little bit of tire heat in them and, see what's going to happen here over the course of 120 laps. Looking like issues once again, as we said, off of turn number 2, that'll be the trouble spot on the racetrack tonight. Looks like it may have been the 44 car that may have got loose, and that's going to bring off a chain effect of multiple drivers around off the exit of turn number 2. So we'll put Joe Allen back to work here. He'll have to screen out the replay. He's got the controls for us as always, and he's got a lot of cameras spread out all over the Richmond International Raceway. So we'll wait for the call from him from the booth. Give us the best possible look he can, as he's always doing such an awesome job down there. But, while we're waiting for this call out of the replay, check us out on our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Book your date now. Dates are filling up fast. A lot of great things to come here through the next couple of months, and we love to showcase what you're doing, regardless if it's NR 2003 like we are here, iRacing, R-Factor, P-Cars, Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, whatever you're playing out there, we'd love to display it. Get a hold of us, fullvelocitynetwork.com. No league too big or too small, and great broadcast rate. So book your date now. But Joe Allen, believe you're ready with the second Full Velocity replay. So let's throw it down to you and see what happens.
Yes, sir, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to focus our attention on that number 44 machine here tonight. Just a tough break coming off of turn 2. These guys over here, a lot of you that watch our broadcast are familiar with the League Core I&I. These guys over here at Hobo Racing actually use the original game-provided Core I&I, so we could see a few more incidents just based on that with netcode lag and some other things that contribute to stuff like that as well. So we'll throw this thing in slow motion replay. You'll see some of the cars start to disappear. That's the netcode lag with the old Core I&I, but 44 gets loose off the corner here, comes down the track, and gets into that number 73 machine, shoots him back up across the racetrack again, and this is where you'll see these two cars disappear here for a second, and there they are gone. The 73 starts to spin back up into traffic. I don't really think any other cars were involved in this incident in the aftermath of it, at least. But that was the result of that accident. Just as you spoke earlier, Phil, cars getting loose off the racetrack. Looks like the 0 is involved in it. Saw a blue car, looks like the 93 there appearing back is involved in it. Heavy damage actually now as we're seeing it for that number 44 machine. Looks like he's going to pull that thing behind the wall as well. So early night for Dan Rubino there, unfortunately. Just loose off a turn 2 and collected a bunch of other cars with it. And, just an unfortunate thing to happen early to these guys here tonight. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, and also lost in that is going back and, seeing it from a different point of view. Also, the 73 of Herman Reese got a piece of that as well. So definitely a fast race car, maybe a little bit of damage. How much do you think aerodynamics at a place like Richmond will play off here through the course of this evening, Todd?
I don't think it makes a huge set of difference there, Phil. I mean, it has to hurt it just a little bit aerodynamic-wise. Maybe give you a little bit of a different push aspect. But as far as seeing a lot of rubbing and different things that are going on out there on the speedway for Richmond-wise, it's a short track. Aerodynamics do not play as much of a factor as maybe a speedway or super speedway. They do play a little bit of a factor, but not that much.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, how that's going to work out for the rest of the evening. But we can report Dan Rubino, the 44, that machine behind the wall. There was some heavy black smoke coming out of the back of that car, off the hood of that car as well. Heavy contact, damage way too severe. They're going to retire that machine for the night. Also looks like the 328 Kennard Furtick may have fallen off another lap in the rear. So have to update what's going on with the happenings at Kennard here through the rest of this going. But 13 laps up on the board, 120, the main event distance here this evening. And Todd, we're getting ready here as the pace car is going to work its way, I believe, off of turn number 4. Yes, they are. We're going to go back to green flag racing. What do you say?
Yeah, get ready to go back to green flag racing once again here. As the green flag is in the air, they are hammered down into the corner here. The loud pedal is down. The number 12 of Laval is now down into the corner. He's about a 2-car length advantage here once again. Let's see if these tires are going to warm up this time. Try to get these guys into a rhythm. These guys so far have not been able to have a rhythm, and this is a rhythm type of track. So we'll see what these guys can do, Phil, with some green flag running.
No, absolutely. But one of the things you always keep an eye on at Richmond here, you got to get heat to the tires to get the maximum amount of grip to them. But also a really easy thing to do here with the short track, you carry a high rate of speed through these corners. Managing your tires is something that always comes into play at Richmond. So we'll have to manage to see how these guys can do. Usually about 50 laps or so is what you get on tires. But I see a spinner to the front of the field. Green car around. That's Roger Nebelsick. He's going to spin his way out of the second spot, and that's going to put us on our caution flag now, Todd, for the 3rd time tonight. Tough sledding for these guys out of the gate here.
Definitely tough sledding for these guys. We may have to put a call in here, and it'll be the first time I've ever put a call in here on Full Velocity Network for Dr. Green, but we might have to bring him down here to the Richmond area. He's been rather busy here in his off time, so we'll have to see what happens. That was an interesting role for the number 51 as I was seeing that tough break for Nebelstick. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. Joe Allen, Joey the Jet down there in the control booth. He's already ready. He's ready, locked and loaded. So Joe, what happened?
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we're going to throw this thing, focus our attention on that number 51 machine there. We actually caught it live when it happened. Roger Nebelsick there running in the 2nd position here. Throw this thing in slow motion as he goes down through turns 3 and 4. Just gets loose all on his own back there. It's these cold tires that you guys continue to talk about, really giving some of these guys a lot of issues. He just gets loose off of turn 4, spins up. 72 of Isaac Johnson just barely misses him. Looks like the 31 machine of Jeff Stanakis barely missed him as well. But that 41 machine, hard contact with Josh Boyer, rolls that number 51 onto his side, then onto his roof, skids across the roof surfing, as our friend Rich Patton used to call it, does a couple sidewinding twists down the front straightaway, and then just heavy contact with a 710 again, spins him on his roof just like a top, right in the middle of the front stretch there. Really nothing he could do. Unfortunately, that would take a tow truck to get him back on 4 tires, it looks like here. He's going to fall down several laps, as well as probably have significant damage to the motor there. A lot of damage on that number 41 machine of Josh Boyer as well, unfortunately for those guys. Just, same thing that we've seen in the first 3 cautions. Guys getting loose on these cold tires. There isn't enough pressure built up into them, and these things look like a real handful out there, Phil. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, certainly on these cold tires, certainly a handful indeed. But, of course, over here at Hobo Racing here tonight, of course, the owner of Hobo Racing is Mr. Steve Rubino. Let's see if we can't talk to our old friend Steve. It's been a while. Steve, it's Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. You have a copy?
Hey, Phil, I got you.
Steve, good to talk to you here once again, man. The first time for us here as our current venture, Full Velocity Network, comes over to showcase you guys on the short track tonight. First of all, tell us how everybody at Hobo's been doing. It's been a while since we talked to you. What have you guys been up to?
We're coming, we're running the schedules, so we're nearing the chase like NASCAR's doing, and we're still running the Wheelings on Thursday night, which is working out great. And for the winter months, we're going to run Aero 88s and Muscle Late Mod on Sunday nights. And right now, we're trying to get through this race.
It's definitely been some tough sledding here through these first 18, 19 laps or so. A little bit, it's Richmond. It's a rhythm racetrack. The fixed setups, generally they're going to start off a little tiled, mild bit on the loose side. But once you guys get some heat built into these tires, Richmond is always known as to be very, very raceable over the years, Steve. I'm assuming you guys, feel that as well. And I think we're going to see an awesome race here as you guys continue to put laps on this evening.
Yeah, if we can just get some laps and get the tires warm, the car will tighten up a little bit and make it a little bit more drivable, but right now we haven't been able to do that. But hoping we get that done on this next spring flag.
Just looking up and down the point standings for the series tonight, of course, Cal coming in as our point leader. The likes of Isaac Johnson, Jeff Fugate right there in the mix as well. I mean, you look up and down this list of guys, this group at Hobo here, especially a great crowd on a Sunday night. There's a lot of heavy hitters that come over and call Hobo home.
It's difficult to win a race here. I mean, just like every other league, they got your hot shots, and you got guys like me that run middle of the pack, and but it's difficult to win over here. There are a lot of good drivers.
Well, absolutely, Steve. Well, I'll let you get back to the race channel here. I know you got your hands full going back to green, but thanks once again on behalf of all of us at Full Velocity, letting us come over again this evening, and we'll hope to do this again real soon. Thanks, Len, for a couple of words, and bring that 21 machine to the front for us.
I'm trying. Right now, I'm just going to be patient and work my way if I can.
That's right. Keep those fenders clean, buddy. Well, keep us safe out there and have a good time. That's what it's all about. Thanks again, my friend. All right, guys, it's Steve Rubino, the owner of Hobo Racing. So happy to be over here back at Hobo tonight. But, Todd, the field off of turn 4, pace car is in, and these guys are back full song under green flag.
Yeah, definitely full song back under green flag conditions once again, and somebody out of shape a little bit. That again was the 31 machine, I believe, was out of shape just a wee bit there. Jeff Stegaitis in that number 31 machine, he was out of shape there in that 4th spot, but he's fighting his way back up through. He was able to hold on to that as a race for second as Isaac Johnson in the 72 brings himself to second. Fugate loose off the corner in that number 9 machine. Give Isaac Johnson that second spot in that number 72 machine.
Yeah, Camaro of Isaac Johnson up in the high lane. Jeff Fugate, that pink and black number 9. The Dodge down to the low side. They'll fall back. Down to position number 3. They'll fall back in single file formation. Awesome racetrack over here. Fugate, once again, really loose off of turn 2. That's going to allow teammate Jeff Stegaitis to low side. He's going to get loose as well. There is some evil, just ill-handling race cars, Todd, through 3 and 4. Another great stage by Stegaitis on the 31.
Yeah, if a guy can save the car, The 31's been able to do everything that he can to hang on to himself there. And the number 31 machine, Staganis, he's just had all kinds of out of shape and all kinds of ill handling. The car's, like you said, Phil, evil in that number 31 machine. He looked like he was heading straight for the wall. He's able to bring it back and gather it back in, and it's just one of those things. His yellow flag's going to fly, and I believe somebody else not able to gather it back there, Phil. These cars are really, really evil at Richmond. It looks like the 93 and the 710 involved in this one.
Yeah, it looks like our old friend Wild Bill, the 93, and may have been involved. Good to see Bill out there still, out parading around the racetracks, but looked like his Chevy may have been involved in, contact happening there. Not sure if that happened by himself or something happening in front of him or contact out there. Don't want to speculate. We'll leave Joe to show us the story here on the replay, but the 93 definitely around the trail of smoke off of turn number 4. Doesn't look like he hit too hard, so I think as Joe will be able to show us on the replay here in just a second. I think that car, for the most part, Todd, looks like it's come away for the majority of part clean.
Yeah, it looks like most of those, the 2 cars that were involved in that, and there might have even been more, but I'm not 100% positive, but they were out there, and looks like they're going to be able to come away clean. As we're seeing the leader come down pit road here, the number 12 machine, Lovell electing to come down and get some tires, Phil. And these guys have been out of shape and loose here on these cold tires, and I'm can't be sure if they flat spotted the tires or if they've worn the tires out quite a bit there, just trying to keep it going, or else it's just one of those fresh Goodyear Eagles just to make themselves for a longer green flag run, make it a little bit faster here as these other guys are staying out there.
Well, and it may sound silly, but with a couple of heat cycles they put on now, tire temps for these things may go down a little bit. So dare could you say sticker tires may have a little more temperature in them with the sticker on? We'll have to see how that remains to be seen here once we get back to green flag racing. But Joe Allen, once again, under caution flag for the 4th time now on lap number 27. Issues with our old friend Wild Bill, the 93 machine. Show us what happened.
Yes, sir, guys. Quick replay here again. Missed the first part of the accident, unfortunately. I know he was involved in it as well as the 710 machine also involved in this accident of Manny D. So, as you can see, Wild Bill just turned around here on the upper part of the racetrack. He starts to come down here and get himself collected. There's a 710 and Manny D. Looks like just another loose race car, as you said, Phil. That's what it's looking like is the consensus here for most of the night. These cars really loose on fresh tires, so it's proven to be a difficult challenge for a lot of these guys out here. Even a guy like Wild Bill, who's got years and years and years of experience on this game since the early 90s with NASCAR 1 before he moved into NASCAR 2003, and since then he's been a dedicated member to Hobo Racing ever since then. So unfortunately, even the veterans are struggling here. Loose race cars, that's the cause of our 4th caution here tonight. So back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, and something just paying attention to is here is faster cars, especially our point leader coming in tonight, the number 12 of Cal Lovell. He's pitted his way out of the race lead. Not sure how far, tire wear may have fallen off, but I'm curious what he's thinking there, Todd, coming onto pit road and now having to start deep in the field. So let's see if we can't talk to our point leader, our pole sitter, and our early race leader. And of course, that's Cal Lovell and that number 12. Cal, let's Phil has some full velocity, my friend. You have a copy?
I do.
Cal, good to talk to you here once again, my friend. It's been a while. And tell us about that strategy play. Pitting out of the race lead, certainly have a fast race car. These things look to be just a lot of ill-handling race cars out here through these opening laps. What's that strategy? Is tire wear being a factor here? And what do you think about being stuck back in traffic?
I think it'll be fine. I think we'll have a caution coming up pretty soon. And the guys in front of us will pit. So just trying to get the tires and fuel ready, I guess. Yeah.
So is this the kind of situation where you're thinking you want the freshest tires possible, or you almost going to play this, race in reverse, kind of like playing the laps backwards in your head and thinking, if I get inside my pit window to maybe make it to the end on this last stop, would that maybe come to effect? What role do you think you'll be playing here?
I don't know. Just this is just a strategy I think I should play, and I think I'll be fine.
Well, living by the seat of your pants, if there's 3 guys who can appreciate that, it's certainly the 3 of us. But Cal, wanted to just get your thoughts on that real quick. You know, the fastest car here in qualifying, put yourself on the pole. You know, come in tonight with a comfortable point margin. Now with those fresh tires, man, you got some challenge ahead of you. But keep that number 12 clean, and with any luck, we'll talk to you again soon on the pre-race or the post-race show. So good luck, my friend. Thanks for a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right, Cal Lovell, that number 12, going to restart deep in the field, Todd, as we await a green flag.
Yeah, green is out. We're back to racing down here into the corner. The 72 of Isaac Johnson is in command this time with Isaac Johnson. Number 6 is running in that second spot. Third is the number 46 of Maynard in the number 46. Now battling for that second spot as he hits the apron just a little bit. Almost comes up and hits the number 6 machine there on the front straightaway. Wow, these cars, Phil, we're going to say it all night. They are very, very evil. And I don't even think I could hang on to this one corner.
Definitely evil race cars, but the one, you know, that may have the happiest of race cars right now has to be the one out in that clean air. And that, of course, the number 72 of Isaac Johnson, our current race leader. Rich Knappick has found the 6 car now up to that second spot. Aaron Maynard, Herman Reese has rebounded. He's currently 4th. And MT Johnson, the 06, haven't talked much about him. He's of a top 5, but as we say that, Todd, caution flag on the speedway again. That looks like a hard hit there now off of turn 2.
Yeah, definitely hard. As you say, Herman Reese's name in that number 73 machine. He goes for a wild ride and backs it into the wall. I don't know if he had help there, but Herman Reese, an amazing ride there into the wall. It's a tough break for Herman Reese. Looks like the back end's a little bent up in that 73 machine, but we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen and what they can fix on damage on pit road for him.
Todd, I just got a silly report for you, if I can. Just, you know, looking out and monitoring the YouTube chat box, you know, I see the likes of Joey DeMann, Brian Wolf, you know, Rob Larkin, those guys have all checked in. Just got a message saying hello from one Isaac Johnson, you know, out there in the race lead, out there in the chat box. Isaac, I'm sure now if you're saying that, you can hear us. Texting and driving, buddy, not safe. So keep that thing clean, but we'll hope he'll take that message to heart there, Todd. But we're going to let Joe, you know, get back to work here. Joe, I believe you're ready with another full velocity replay. We've kept you busy through these first 35 laps.
Yes, sir, guys. Keeping me on my toes down here. A little bit of a change, but hey, it keeps me focused and keeps me in it. Focus our attention. You guys called it, the 73 of Herman Reese battling with that 06 machine of MT Johnson. So going down into turns 1 and 2 here, 06 looks like he comes up the hill just a little bit. We thought Herman Reese might have had some help there going around, and he did. 06 just charges the corner hard, gets up into the door, the left side door of the 73, spins him up into the wall. Hard damage to the rear end of that 73 machine. Right in front of traffic, we see a lot of cars actually miss the accident, which is really good. The 9 machine down on the bottom, we see that blue machine of a car on the wrong number, unfortunately. Then we see Herman Reese, his machine disappears here in our replay, and then in the aftermath, I believe we saw the 25 machine come out of this right there with some heavy damage. Herman is there stopped, the 710 is stopped. We see some other cars going by there pretty slow. We'll see if we can't catch that 25 machine here somewhere with some heavy damage to that number 25 machine. So he just can't seem to catch a break tonight either, unfortunately. So that is I believe our 5th caution tonight, guys. So Todd, I know you got Dr. Green on speed dial. You might have to dial that up here. Back up to you guys.
Well, we're gonna wait and see if the drivers can fix it themselves, or if we're gonna have to call Dr. Green here for some elixir. And he's been a busy man, so it's gonna be rather expensive to call him. Joe, are you sure you want me to?
All right, well, I think we just kind of gave Joe a direct question. I don't know if he's trying to dial up the phone to Dr. Green himself, but we'll let Joe get worked out there. But I got one more question for Joe, because the chat box has come alive on this subject tonight. We got the full velocity pace car out there tonight, Joe, and is the rumors true about the semi-rig? Did it get, you know, put out to service, or volunteering there, you know, lifting some heavy equipment and assisting to all the relief efforts in the southeast right now? Is that where the van, or that's where the truck is tonight?
Yes, sir, you guys are right. Full Velocity has our own, you know, truck, obviously, that you guys see out here, but we have repurposed it for the weekend. It is out running supplies down to the Gulf region in Florida for the hurricane, and getting supplies to people down in need there. So it's not here in Richmond tonight, unfortunately, pacing around this field. It's out with a much more meaningful purpose, delivering some supplies tonight. So that's why the pace truck's not out there tonight, guys.
All right. Well, we send our best wishes again to everybody who may be affected down in the southeastern part of the country. Here is weather coming in. Looking at a lot of the current reports coming in, and looks like things are just getting started down there. So thoughts and prayers are with you all. Here is. We're out here just trying to get away at the Richmond International Raceway here tonight. The Hobo Racing Xfinity Series, race number 26 of the season. As Steve Rubino told us here just a bit ago, preparing for the chase, just as all the leagues seem to do about this time of year is, you get to the end of the regular season, get down to that chase format, get ready to race for a championship as we get through the end of the racing months here through September, October, November. So a lot of great racing to go here through the next couple of months, and we'll update all the happenings here at Hobo Racing. But Todd, the lights are out atop the pace car, and we're going to turn this field back to the green flag. Different complexion up of that top 5 right now.
Yeah, definitely different complexion as green flag is in the air. Loud pedal is down. The 72 of Isaac Johnson storms down into turn number 1. The 46 of Maynard running in that second spot. Third right now, a heated battle for that third spot up towards the front. They're trying to work it all out, and somebody... I see somebody hitting inside wall pretty hard there. It looked like Austin LaPlante already hitting the wall there and flirting with the inside wall. That's a tough break for Austin LaPlante. He doesn't need any more damage. That truck got quite a few donuts on the side of that car. Is the 48 of Austin LaPlante. Right now running in that third spot, though, a heated battle between MT Johnson and the 06 machine. And it was the number 78 machine of Ryan Johnson. Johnson right now still hanging on to that 4th spot, but don't look now. Cal Lovall in that number 12. He's already worked his way up to 5th. Remember, he did take tires the last time he was able to get the yellow, but yellow out once again. And I'm going to page Dr. Green, Phil. I don't care how much it costs. We're going to need some elixir for this yellow fever. Paging Dr. Green.
If we make that house call with Dr. Green, we're going to put that on Todd Stanton's tab here tonight here. As yellow fever is definitely the story through this first quarter of the race at the Richmond International Raceway. 41 laps of 120 on the board, and guys just trying to get a little bit of rhythm in with some green flag racing. I think the longest green flag run so far we may have seen is about 4 laps. So I'm certain it's going to get better here. A couple of cars have had to retire from damage or wrecks out of the event. Dan Rubino, the first casualty here, hard contact. Also, Roger Nebelsick with a hard wreck off of turn number 2. Those 2 drivers out with heavy damage. Also, Ron Simpson, mechanical issues there after contact. So 3 of the 25 drivers behind the wall, and this race has been gobbling them up, really quick here. We saw Austin LaPlante get loose. We just saw some more carnage off of turn number 2. Just seems to always be the spot at Richmond there, Todd. You get real loose. Get that tight feel off the exit of 2, or you kind of start to kick out a little bit loose. You get back in the gas, and it just snaps loose on you. And Joe, I think we're going to see that exact scenario here play out once again. It's a story of these first 40 laps.
Yeah, pretty similar to that, we'll say. Our focus is on that white and blue machine. That's R. Keller, and the 59 machine, his name on screen is Tango, as you guys will see it. And it looks like the 0 here actually gets a little bit of help. The 59 just misjudges the corner. It looks like he may get into the back bumper just a little bit. Gets that number 0 machine real loose down into turn 3, and he's going to come right back up into traffic. There's the 21 machine of Steve Rubino. Saw the 59 machine, of course, of Tango involved in that accident. And there's a little alien abduction that we're used to seeing here so far. Throw this thing back in regular motion replay. I don't think any other cars involved in this incident under the caution. So 2-car incident down into turn 3 in front of a lot of guys. So for some guys to come out of that without any damage is pretty impressive. But it's the same old thing. Now, a little bit of help there, but these guys have been loose all over the racetrack, and that's just the way the setup was built here this afternoon from the looks of it. And a lot of these guys having some trouble keeping this thing underneath them all stable.
Well, loosey-goosey, definitely the way of the land here at Hobo through the first quarter of this event. Also looked like we may have claimed another car. Kennard Furtick's car just went behind the wall with a puff of smoke. So, Todd, through these first 40 so laps, here are 6 caution flags, and unfortunately 4 of our 25 starters out in the early goings here at Richmond. It's tough to see because you see a crowd like this. Great to see all these guys at Hobo once again, and you certainly want to see some more green flag running. I think as we put more laps into this race, guys get more comfortable. I think we'll see a decent green flag run here before too long.
Yeah, indeed. I think we will see a green flag run. These guys have had a lot of good races that we've actually broadcasted ourselves, Phil. These guys have put on some whale of a shows, and these guys are all good drivers. I'm telling you right now. Looking up and down, I would be lucky to even finish the top 20, and these guys have a 25. So, I'm for one. I know that these guys could actually get some green flag running here. I've seen it before, and I don't doubt any of these guys.
And don't think it's one of those situations where these guys are really struggling to drive here tonight. I've seen these guys do a lot of racing, especially on their Thursday night series, the Hobo, modified series, which is probably one of the better, all divisions I see out in the entire racing community. And those guys are short track warriors. These guys do an awesome job. There are some fine race car drivers here, and it just be a little bit, off with the setup tonight. Guys just, having to put more adjustments that they may be used to into their wheel adjustments. So we'll let this thing play out. Let's not put, the book on the story still to be told here. There's a lot of racing left to go. 45 up on the board. Pace car lights are out in turn number 3. We'll turn the field back over to our race leader, the 72 of Isaac Johnson. Aaron Maynard, the 46. Ryan Johnson, the 78. MT Johnson, the 06. Cal Lovall in the 12. That's going to be your current top 5. Pace car coming in, awaiting the green flag, waiting here. Little late and delayed this time at a green flag, but green flag once again in the air there, Todd.
It looks like green flag was out there momentarily there, Phil, and now we're back to the yellow flag once again, and the speedway. Again, these cars really, really evil here this evening.
Certainly, the best word we can use for it to describe it tonight. I'm sure we've all been there at one time or another. If you've played this sim for a long time, evil race cars, and we've certainly seen a fair share of that here at the Hobo Racing League. So we'll put Joe Allen back to work here. See what happened on the replay. Saw somebody once again there, Todd, right off the initial start. Looks like maybe even just not even about 100 yards past the start-finish line, and that happened right toward the front of the field, Joe Allen. Looks like that even may have been our second-place runner, Aaron Maynard. A strange-looking wreck there. Show us what happened.
Yeah, guys, right here on the 46 of Aaron Maynard, it looks like I actually did this a couple weeks ago. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm going to. It looks like he was going up through the gearbox, went to throw it into third gear from second gear, and actually missed third, went all the way down to reverse, and probably ripped the transmission right out of the car, spun the thing around, and collected a few others. We'll back this thing up a little bit for you guys. We'll play this thing in full replay here, full speed. Goes to shift and just completely misses it, loops that thing around. There's the 12 car. Our championship leader made some contact there. Not sure how heavy a contact he made, but that 56 machine, if it, or the 46, I'm sorry, if it's still running, which it looks like it is, very, very lucky break that he didn't rip the transmission out of that thing. That was a mean spin. We'll back this thing up one more time because it was almost a full 360 cyclone is what it looked like for the most part. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that he was able to keep that thing going. As we see the 9 car down there on the bottom, looks like all these guys were kind of fanning out to miss him. The 9 car was involved in a little bit of a secondary incident there real quick. So we'll back this thing up one more time, play this thing in slow motion. Just looks like he goes to shift into third and completely misses it, goes down into reverse, spins this thing around, bounces off the wall just a little bit. 12 car gets into him just a little bit, and he spins right back around and keeps going. So that's a very bizarre thing. First time we've seen something like that here on the network, guys. So that's our 6th caution of the evening, I believe. Back up to you guys in the booth.
And that is spoken like a guy with true experience, and it sounds like that experience didn't go well, Todd, and it sounds like our buddy Joe took something to heart right there. I'm sure Aaron Maynard, the 46, maybe that's a lesson learned for him as well. Lucky for him, he didn't tear the entire gearbox out of it, and that thing appears to still have full power.
Yeah, lucky for him, he still got full power. Did not tear out the whole entire gearbox. So, I've had that happen too, Phil. When I've tore out actually 3 gears out of that gearbox, and I've been running around in first gear around Richmond, and you just can't do that. You're just in the way, and you're going to wreck somebody. But I'm not as skilled of a driver as maybe a Joe Allen or some of the other broadcasters that we've had, a David Schildhouse or even a Blake McCandless. But it's rather interesting to see what these guys can do or, or even perform here with at Richmond.
All right, well, talking about guys with long storied careers, one of the guys over here, every time we come to Hobo, we pay a tribute to the senior member of Hobo Racing. That would be Wild Bill. So let's see if we can't pause here real quick and throw in this quick blurb from our friends at Hobo.
In 1992, when Bill Sassler retired from the railroad industry, his grandkids bought him a computer. First thing he said was, "I'll never touch it." That was until they got a NASCAR 1 and a Thrustmaster wheel, and now a day doesn't go by that he isn't racing. Now he goes by Wild Bill online, and he resides in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. Bill just had a birthday back on March 3rd, as a matter of fact, his 78th. Probably makes Bill one of the oldest racers online. Bill's been into racing for a long time, as you can see from these pictures with him and his brothers. They won numerous track championships in these karts, as a matter of fact. Bill was also the owner of both of these micro sprint cars, and Randy, in the number 5, won several championships. Since 1994, Bill has been able to do his racing from the comfort of his home. He's still currently racing in a couple of NASCAR 2003 leagues, one of them at Hobo Racing. Matter of fact, he just got a second in Martinsville, of all places. He's been racing non-stop since he hooked up that Thrustmaster and loaded up NASCAR 1. Every car Wild Bill runs has Claudette's name on the rear as his motor sponsor. She's his wife of 55 years.
All right, back at the Richmond International Raceway, live on the Full Velocity Network. The ultimate esport experience we're bringing you out here tonight with the Xfinity Series for our friends at Hobo Racing. Been slowed by a lot of caution flags, 7 of them to be exact through the first 50 laps. 120 laps is the main event distance, so you can almost say almost the entire first half of this race has been marred by the caution flags. But Todd Stanton, I think Dr. Green, he's about to make an appearance here at Richmond. I hope he got the page and is getting here in time. I'm anxious for a good long green flag run. Let's see what we can do this time around.
As the pace car pulls off, makes that hard left-hand turn, get ready to go back to green flag racing here with the Richmond International Raceway. Green flag's in the air. Look at the start. Isaac Johnson gets in that 72 machine. Doesn't spin his tires. Looks like he has plenty of grip on his rear tires as they come down to turn number 1. He's got about 4 car length advantage over MT Johnson. Another Johnson and MT Johnson around. And spinning in a cycle and down towards the bottom. I don't know if that's going to bring out a yellow flag or not. I believe it's going to do so. So another yellow flag, Phil, is now I see Dr. Green. He's finally coming down here in his helicopter. So I think we might have a solution now.
Well, and it looks like the place to not be tonight here at Hobo is certainly that second position, because I believe that's the 3rd or 4th driver that has spun their way out of that second spot. You know, I've seen that done with the race lead many a times, but, you know, maybe the page here tonight, if you want to be that second car in line, that looks to be the most unlucky place to be out on the speedway here tonight, Joe. And is this right? This may be the 4th caution flag we see a driver spin their way out of that runner-up spot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a combination of the dirty air or something else that's going on underneath these race cars with the setup combination. Just guys really struggling on cold tires here at Richmond. Throw this thing in slow motion replay. The 06 here, Cal Lovell, our point leader right behind him, really gets up, takes the air off the spoiler on the rear end of that machine. He just gets loose off of turn 2, spins down, doesn't collect anybody else with him, thankfully. I don't think he even makes contact with the inside wall. He does not, so lucky for that number 06 machine of MT Johnson, you know, he doesn't end up hitting anything down there, but he's certainly going to have to flip that thing back around, take it down to pit road, put 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles back on it and get himself back out there. So he's very fortunate to not really incur any sort of damage to that race car, but it's more of the same of what we're seeing, guys. It's puzzling out there. These guys are just really struggling on fresh tires, low pressures in these tires, and you know the lack of heat buildup and the lack of pressure buildup with the constant cautions that we have. This is product of what happens if you can't get any green flag laps out there and the pressures don't build up. These guys are going to continue to struggle on restarts, and it really comes down to just trying to give guys as much room as you can possibly give them to get that car underneath them and try to put some laps on these tires out there. Otherwise, I fear that they're going to continue struggling, unfortunately. But back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so under caution flag once again here for the 8th time tonight for the Hobo Racing Xfinity Series here that's been running here throughout the season every Sunday night this time, you know, following the entire schedule. Great series here. Race number 26 this evening. Cal Lovell, you know, was our pole sitter here about 45 minutes ago. He's found himself after pitting there for fresh tires about 20 laps to go. He's back to the runner-up spot. Cal coming in this evening, 24 out of 25 starts. Here leads the points with the strength of 7 victories, 14 top 5 and 19 top 10 finishes, an average finish of 6.92 for the season, has a 129-point lead over second place, running in our current race leader, the number 72 of Isaac Johnson. Isaac top in the series this year with 8 victories, also 14 top 5, 16 top 10 finishes. So, you know, he's got 129 points still behind. Not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. And you bring the chase scenario into that, Todd, and it really puts anybody's, back into it. You look at the likes of Jeff Fugate, the dog John Palmer, Ryan Johnson, Rich Knappick, Justin Canis, Roger Nevillesick, Steve Ravino, even Austin LaPlante all the way back in 10th. Those guys going to, be heavily supplanted into the chase. And when you reset these points and go out there in the playoff type scenario, these races can turn to anybody's favor. And just because that big giant point lead, Cal may have, that doesn't stamp that you're automatically going to be a champion when those chase races come.
No, it definitely doesn't. You can be eliminated from those chase races pretty quick, and you may have led the points the regular season championship. Yeah, does that mean something? It definitely does. You've stuck it out throughout the whole 26 races. You've been the most consistent guy. It used to be like what old NASCAR was. Be the most consistent guy. You don't necessarily have to win all the time. You be the most consistent and win a points championship. Regular season, yeah, I'd like to see get a win in that, but the chase is where it's all about. It comes down all the way down to Homestead, and that's where you want to win. That's where you want to be on top. This is like a secondary thing there, Phil, winning the regular season championship, but the overall championship at the end of the season, that's where they cut the cake.
Oh, absolutely, and we'll talk more about that through this night. It goes on. Here is the pace car in turn number 4. Lights are out. We'll put the field back into Isaac Johnson's hands. Cal Lovell, Jeff Rogers, Simpson in the 99, and Duke Sorensen the 59. That's your top 5. Green flag in the air.
Green flag is in the air. Down into turn number 1 is Isaac Johnson this time, not getting away from Cal Lovell as quick as he did from the other guys that were behind him. About a car length and a half here coming down the back straightaway is Isaac Johnson. Cal Lovell, the number 91 of Rogers. He's running in that third spot. Beautifully prepared cars up and down here at the Richmond International Raceway. I've been admiring all these cars, Phil. These are some fantastic paint schemes, and if Joe gets a look at all these cars here throughout the night, there's some awesomely painted cars here.
Oh, definitely one of the sharpest looking, races in a whole here. All these awesome looking paint jobs out here tonight. We've seen so many over the years in all these great leagues, but showcasing this DMR NXS mod here, the SS version we have here tonight. Awesome looking mod. It's cool looking race cars in all 4 models that are out there. And these guys have done some phenomenal work with the paint schemes. As they race off turn number 2, still green flag racing. It's still Isaac Johnson with the race lead. Cal Lovell all over his back bumper there. Good race up to the front of the field. The 99 of Jacob Simpson there, currently in the 3rd spot. That white Ford, he's starting to march forward there. Single file, Todd, throughout the top 10 as these guys just look to make laps under green. And so far, everybody seems to have a handle on it as of a second.
It looks like they've pretty much got the handle on it. Looking at Simpson right now, he's been all over the rear bumper of Cal Lovell, the number 99 machine. He got around the 91 of Rogers there, and Rogers is not going away. He's running in that 4th spot, but not able to close the gap between himself and that number 99, but the 99 right there. Looks like Isaac Johnson just took a blow off the outside wall. The number 72 machine, is that going to leave the door wide open? Look at Isaac Johnson, Phil. He is a little bit up off the bottom. His groove has been a little bit up off the bottom each and every time, the number 72 machine.
And how much do you think that may have a role here of him having a little bit older tire than Cal Lovell? The number 12, we'll put a period on that. We'll come back to that and see what these guys do under this now Kurt caution flag, the 9th one of the evening. Looks like hiccups once again, through that trouble part of the racetrack. It looks like off the exit of turn number 4 this time is where the smoke has come from. So once again, we'll put Joe back to work. He's had a busy night for us here live on Full Velocity, but the 9th caution flag of the night. But Todd, we were just talking here a couple seconds ago about racing in the chase and how the championship scenarios can all change and with the elimination style. Have you ever, in all the time you've been sim racing, have you ever been, able to race your way and be a part of a chase scenario in any league?
Well, I tell you, since the last time I really won a championship, we really, well, my last championship was the Super Speedway Series, so we didn't have a chase involved in that. And the last time I actually won a championship in a cup car or a nationwide car that actually ran the full season was back in probably 2008, Phil. That's how long it's been since I won a championship like that. So 2008 was the last time that I won a championship, and guess what? In 2008, there was absolutely no chase in 2008 for me.
Yeah, well, said I had to ask you that question. I didn't want to run you over with the bus there, but well, speaking of guys who I believe have run the chase scenarios, let's talk to our buddy Joe Allen again. Joe, I know you've been part of chases before, but talk about that for a minute and show us what happened to put us under the latest of the caution flags.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about the chase. Let's get the replay up real quick so we can show our audience, and then we'll get back into the chase scenario. Focus on that number 710 machine of Manny D. I believe this is his second caution of the night, so he's probably pulled that thing behind the wall and parked it, unfortunately, for the rest of the evening. But he just goes down into turn 3 here, gets off the gas, a little bit of trail braking, gets that thing loose, real sideways, and there he goes, looping it around through the middle of turns 3 and 4. Same thing that we've been seeing, guys. Austin LaPlante, the 48 right there, barely missed that accident, too. That was right around Austin LaPlante, so lucky for him. But as you see, the 710 has gone off a screen now, but we definitely know that he was involved in some sort of accident having to do with him losing control of that car. So that's very unfortunate for him. But, guys, I'm going to throw it back up to you. Let me get myself resituated with our live race, and then you can throw it back down to me, and we'll talk about chase scenarios.
Oh, sounds like a plan. Well, unfortunately, the pride of Riverside, Rhode Island, on Manny Diaz of that number 710. Looks like issues there into the outside wall, and looks like the 710 Todd has pulled his machine to pit road and behind the wall. So it just joins the list of casualties of guys who are behind the wall tonight. Manny joining the likes of Steve Rubino, Kennard Furtick, Ron Simpson, Roger Nebelsick, and Dan Rubino, all out of the event. We've had, now the 9th caution flag here now on lap number 67. It's been a lot of wrecking, a lot of carnage, a lot of attrition here tonight. Certainly tough to see at Richmond.
Yeah, definitely a war of attrition here at Richmond tonight, and it's been a tough break for these guys. They've been trying to get it going. They've had a couple of green flag runs that have gone a little bit of a spurt, and then all of a sudden the car gets nasty on somebody and ends up sending them around. And it's one of those things. They're battling it. They're getting it underway, and I'm sure they're getting ready to prepare for a good race. But I know you threw a question to Joe about the chase format, and I said 2008 was the last time I actually won a Cup Series schedule championship, and back then we didn't have the chase format. But Joe knows quite a bit about that chase format, Joe, and what are curtails to win something like that.
Yeah, it's no easy feat, and it depends on what version of the chase you're using. A lot of the leagues now have gone to the win in advance, but the old chase, I mean, you could go out and dominate a regular season, have a huge point lead, and everything resets when the chase comes around with the old chase format. And it really, it came down to, you still had to have your own skill, obviously, but it came down to luck, too. You had to, for those last 10 races, really keep your car clean and survive, basically, and hope that you could just advance through the rounds based on your performance. But, guys, we'll cover that in a little bit. I'm going to throw it back to you guys. Pace cars off. We're getting ready to throw this thing back under green flag conditions.
All right, Joe, green flag racing back in the air. A new race leader has emerged now with the current cycle of yellow flag and now pit stops here. Austin LaPlante restarted as your leader, but the field, Todd, this time couldn't quite make it toward turn 1. Somebody got loose and tore up a couple of more cars. Caution flag on the speedway here. I really feel bad for Steve and all the guys over here at Hobo tonight. A great league, been at it for a long time. Certainly the race we're seeing here tonight is not indicative of the great racing these guys do night in and night out. And I just wish we could showcase to all our viewers out there. I've seen Everett Lynch join in and, be part of the conversation. Our chat box, Everett, good to see you, my friend. Wish you had the 87 out here tonight and hope to see you again out here real soon. But, it almost looks like, Todd, we're going through kind of like a war zone tonight. A lot of tore up sheet metal, cold tires on restarts. And I think, Joe, you're going to show us here once again. They always say that the lay of the land, restarts breed restarts. And, especially in a place like Richmond, it's tight quarters. You got to hit your marks. And, so far for these guys, just having nothing, just headaches for all these guys all around. You're certainly going to feel bad for everybody involved.
Yeah, this is one of those nights where you want to perform, but the cautions, they breed cautions. Guys start getting frustrated out there, and it's just every league has their bad nights. Every league has their really good nights, and it happens to everybody. So it's important that these guys realize that these things happen, and you build from them and you learn from them. And it might be a little bit of TV race jitters too. Everybody seems to want to perform the best they can when they're on TV, and sometimes these things like this happens. But we're going to focus on our friend Wild Bill in the 93, the 108. That's Dog, John Palmer out there. And I think Wild Bill, honestly, he might have missed a shift. Maybe he doesn't have third gear and he had to go straight into fourth. But you see Palmer here in the 108 just gets a huge run on Wild Bill. Just really had no idea what was going on. Hit the 93, spins him around the 31. Jeff Stakanis gets into the back of Palmer in the 108. Wild Bill hits the inside wall pretty hard here as you see those cars disappear on screen. So just another chain reaction restart issue that we saw here tonight, guys. I'm not sure if guys are having a hard time getting through the gears, if they're blowing gears, if they're spinning tires just that bad shifting through the gears. It could be really a combination of a lot of different things here that are stacking up these restarts and just making this a real hassle for these guys who are trying to get this thing back under green.
No, and it's certainly got to be deflating as a driver at this point, just having the struggles of getting out and putting some, an extra kind of distance run here under green flag conditions for the race admins of all Steve and Dan and all the guys over here at Hobo. I mean, we've all been around a long time, Todd. I think we've all at one point or another have gone through nights just like this, and it's just highly unfortunate. I know the anticipation of this event is great. These guys at Hobo really excited. The drivers are amped up. We're amped up, and we're just hoping and praying, rooting these guys on. We want to see some great racing because I think we all know, and everybody out there knows, that's what Hobo Racing is all about. These guys have been doing it on a high level for an awful long time, and I don't want anybody out there to think this is indicative of what these guys do. These guys really, truly, over the years have put on some great racing, and we've seen that on our airwaves before.
We definitely have, Phil. And another comment just to throw out there is when we're racing and you see a TV broadcasting crew coming in, you want to be on TV. I wanted to be on TV back in the days when it was OLR TV. I think there was RLM TV. There was a couple other TV broadcasting units out there, but those are the two major ones here in NASCAR 2003. When those lights came on, sometimes them races where you'd be lucky to have 5 green flag laps and a run in a half of a distance race there. 50% race, you'd be lucky to have 5 laps under green in a row. So, I mean, it happens. The lights come on. That's one of those things that just jitters.
Well, as it's one of those things, as you said, and I think as our friend Everett said in the chat box, it's definitely those just TV race jitters. I mean, I think we've all been there. We've all been there and done that. I'll give a quick plug out to our buddy Brian Wolf, who does our terrific intro video for the Full Velocity Network. And anybody knows Brian's work with Fluid Sim Race Films. I mean, I don't win races, whatsoever. I do a lot of the broadcasting, not as much a driver anymore. But when I am, honored enough to be able to race in one of the races he'll do a video for, the only time I'm really seen is when, unfortunately, I'm all tore up in a wreck or the aliens have abducted me. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Guys, get excited to have their name called out, their paint jobs showed off. And unfortunately, one of those things, it's just not the way we want to show them off is, tore up in a wreck. But guys like myself, Todd, I've made a career out of, being on a TV broadcast all wrecked out. Not like yourself, who's won big TV races before, or like Joe, who's just spoiled by, the winning ways that he has. Sometimes the little guys like myself, all we can do to get on one of these TV shows is, unfortunately have a tore up race car, and it's certainly too bad.
Well, it's one of those things, Phil. I mean, I've won good TV broadcast races. I've won some big ones. I finished in the top 3. I've been on podiums, But that was a long time ago, so I know what the feeling is like to get on TV. But now I'm on TV all the time. So, I mean, I'm talking. The pace car's in right now. They're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Loud pedal is down, and Austin LaPlante is leading down here to turn number 1, Phil. And just to get back to it, these guys want the limelight. They want to. They don't get seen very often, or some of these guys just want to win here on the Full Velocity Network. It looks like we got another big wreck off of turn number 2. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, they just want to see it. It looks like they saved it, though, Phil, after a big wreck off of turn number 2, and it looks like we're still green flag racing. Wow.
Yeah, looks like so, but there was contact there. MT Johnson just missed the corner in the 06, and I believe that might have been the 72 of Isaac Johnson, who took a hard wallop off of turn 2 and pounded the outside wall. Contact there. Also, there was contact with Jeff Stakanis. It stacked the entire field, but much of these guys, credit Todd, these guys are still green flag racing. Let's talk about that in turn 1.
Yeah, green flag racing down into turn number 1, still leading this race. Austin LaPlante in the number 48 machine, but Menard has caught him here, running him down into turn number 3. Menard all over the rear end of the 48 of Austin LaPlante here, coming off of turn number 4. LaPlante going to lead this time by lap number 78 complete. 79 is ready to be in the books. We're getting back into a rhythm ourselves, Phil, but yellow flag's going to come out.
Unfortunately, the story of the night, yellow flag fever here as we're hitting lap number 80. This one looking to break loose off toward turn number 3, it appears. I see the smoke cloud. I'm not sure if that's where the contact happened. We'll let Joe go back. We've kept Joe here tonight. I think he's, for all the work we're giving him tonight, Todd, he's going to, give us all sorts of grief and hate and discontent. Usually we have to do the talking and, carry a lot of the action out here. But the action tonight, unfortunately, for all these guys, all the drivers, all our viewers, a lot of the action's been under the caution flag. And this one's another tight wreck off of turn number 2. Contact there with some loose race cars, the 06 and the 41 of Josh Boyer involved. Some hard hits off of turn number 2. It's been a trouble spot for us there all night at Richmond.
Yeah, it's been one of them trouble spots. It's indeed, these guys trying to knock down the walls and actually trying to make this track a little bit wider, per se. But I know Joe's ready down there in the trailer. Joe, take it away. What happened again?
Thank you, guys. We are going to focus on the 06 and the 41 through turns 1 and 2 here. It looks like the 06 of Johnson just gets loose off the corner here. The 41 starts to come up the track just a little bit. That's Josh Boyer. 06 comes down, gets into the right door of the 41. He comes back up into the 06, spins that thing around down the middle of the back straightaway. 06 gets collected back into it. The 9 gets by. I think everybody else was able to squeak by here. It was just those 2 cars involved in that incident. But just, that was a hard racing incident. Guys got, he just got loose on the top side there, came down. There was a car there taking up that spot that he needed to normally try and save that race car. They got together, and unfortunately that brings out our latest caution here tonight. And, these guys will come back down pit road. They'll try to crinkle out some sheet metal. It's short track racing. We expected to see some banged up cars. They'll put 4 fresh tires back on it, get themselves back out there. They'll wind these things back up again, and we'll try it again one more time. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so as we work under the caution flag, let's see if we can't grab another quick interview here live on Full Velocity. We highlight, all these great races at Hobo Racing. Who can we grab? Looking up and down the list, we've talked to Cal Lovell, we've talked to Steve Rubino. Well, let's talk. Let's try grabbing a word with our old friend Herman Reese. It's been a while since we talked to old Herman out there in the 73. Let's see what he's thinking. He's certainly been one of those guys, and in our spotlight a couple of times tonight for all the wrong reasons with handfuls of steering wheel. So let's see if we can't talk to the driver of the 73. Herman Reese, Phil LaCasse on Full Velocity, my friend. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4. Go ahead, Phil.
Herman, good to talk to you again there once again. You guys look like you have some evil handling race cars out there tonight. And as a guy I know that really excels on the short tracks, man, just tell us about the handful and the conditions you guys are playing with here tonight.
Well, I believe the setup is a little different than what a lot of these drivers are accustomed to. It's more of an advanced. I haven't necessarily had the issue. Unfortunately, I've been around. You can tell by the look of my car. I've been around people that have had the issue, and it's more of a drag. You got to drag the brake, or trail brake they call it, and that's really a technique that must be practiced. So some of the guys are struggling with it, and cautions breed cautions. People, when you start having a lot of cautions, people get more aggressive, thinking it's the only way they can make up some spots. And then that's called, you run up on next to the guy, you lift off the gas, and you're spinning out again. So, but yeah, it is a little bit more difficult than what we had last time here. And I don't think the guys are given enough room to get accustomed to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And how much do you think that, the colder tires may take an effect at this point? I mean, Richmond is always one of those rhythm race tracks, typically a one groove bottom feeder, but it's such a tight, tricky place. You got to hit your marks right. And how much do you think that cold tires are playing a role in this right now?
Oh, it definitely is, because this track is one that is famous in fixed racing for got to get that right front a little hotter to get it to turn better. And, you know, you get in there and just start getting a little free, and it takes you forever to collect it. You almost have to take, almost like the real cars, you almost take about 4 laps to get it to where it needs to be running. So I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, Herman, good to talk to you once again, buddy. I see the green flag about to drop on you, so sorry to keep you
very much
for that. But
thank you, guys.
Good luck the rest of the night, man. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Herman Reese out there in the 73. You know, one of the better perspectives you get here from the whole community. Herman's a guy who's been around for a long time, Todd, and you know, we'll see if we can't get some green flag racing and see if these guys can't maybe, you know, as he said, trail breaking is definitely a skill to be learned, and we'll see what these guys can learn here to the last third of this race as they're in turn 3.
Yeah, they're learning it all right here as they've been throwing at it. But the 46 of Menard, your current race leader, Stanakis, in that number, Stagatis in the 31, he is running in that second spot. Third will be the number 99 of Simpson. Simpson's running third. Now below the 31 is Stagatis in that 31. It's side-by-side battle comes out of turn 1.
Side-by-side battle for that second spot. Jacob Simpson to the inside of Jeff Stagatis also. Right behind him, the 72 of Isaac Johnson. Speedy is on the move once again. He's got around the Cal Lovell machine. Now put him around Stagatis, move Isaac Johnson, Todd, back to that third spot off of turn 4.
Yeah, Isaac Johnson back to third in the number 72 machine, looking at the left side of his car. I believe it's even on the right side. No, it's actually in the right side of his car. I see donuts on the right side of his car. Short track racing at its finest, seeing donuts on the side of the car. There, a little bit of wall scrapage on the side of his car, but he's still motoring on in that third spot to number 99. Right now, going for the lead down here into turn number 1. Simpson down on the bottom side. He's trying to get around Menard. And then number 46, they're side by side through 1, through off of turn number 2. They're still side by side, but now it looks like the number 99 going to be able to edge it out. Here comes Isaac Johnson down to the bottom. He's going to take over that second spot, put Menard back to that third spot there, Phil, in less than a lap.
Yeah, less than a lap, as you said, that top 3 changing position. Jacob Simpson, now your race leader. Isaac Johnson up to second. Aaron Maynard drop kick back to third. Best race on the racetrack just, expired through turns number 1 and 2. Cal Lovell able to make his way around the 31 of Jeff Stagatis. That's good racing all over Richmond right now, especially in that top 5 positions. Jacob Simpson at 99 trying to pull away from the field, but we know he's got a mirror full of speedy there. The 72 of Isaac Johnson, we've seen him win multiple times over the years on our airwaves. One of those young, hungry, up-and-coming drivers, turned a lot of laps, definitely fast. And those 2 young guns up front, putting on one whale of a show off of turn 4 as 90 laps go up on the board.
Yeah, 90 laps go up on the board. Battle for that third spot down into turn number 1. The number 12 of Cal Lovell is going to get around. It looks like the 46 of Menard. Menard going to drop kick back to that 4th spot now. The 31 of Stagatis now sets his sights on the 46. The 46 drifts way up the track, leaving the door wide open for the bottom side, and here comes Stagatis. And that 31, he's going to put himself up into 4th. The 46 drops back to the 5th spot, going to again leave the door wide open for another comer on the bottom side. Looks like a freight train here. On the bottom is the number 91 machine now to the bottom. That's Rogers. Rogers going to move up around the 46 and also getting into the fray. Duke Sorensen and that number 49 or 59 machine.
Yeah, the 59 coming into that fray as well. And as you talked about, Aaron Maynard, the 46, is stuck on the outside lane and just trying to find running room to get back to that low side, getting the tires a little bit heated. He'll slide up the racetrack once again, open the door for Duke Sorensen in the 59. Those guys racing now for that 6th spot, and that give that now to Sorensen. The 46 is continuing to slip slide all over this 3/4 mile Richmond track, but looks like he's got a little bit of gap between him and Jeff Fugate. So Maynard able to drop back into line. One guy not dropping into line there, Todd, back up to the front of the field. Looks like the 12 of Cal Lovell may be on the move.
Yeah, Lovell got around. The number 72 of Isaac Johnson put Cal Lovell into that 2nd spot. The number 12 machine put Johnson back to 3rd. As now Lovell going to set his sights on that number 99 machine of Jacob Simpson. Simpson leading this race here. Green flag so far here. I'm going to say about 15 car lengths between the number 99 and the 12 here. But the 12 is coming. Cal Lovell and that number 12 machine set the fastest lap. We're going to see what he did this last time by 21.296 to 21.550. Jacob Simpson. So look at the number 12 machine. He is a flying hot rod out there in the number 12.
Yeah, he gained 0.2 of a second last time around, cut that to 0.8 of a second. You can see that on your screen. What was 12 car lengths is down to about 8 as they hit the start-finish line and down toward turn 1. Shaved that interval down to mere car lengths. It's about 0.6 of a second, but it's down to about 4 or 5 car lengths, Todd. Give this thing another 2 corners. You may see a race for the race lead as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, Cal Lovell, that number 12 machine, starting to reel a little bit here as the number 99 of Jacob Simpson starting to drift up the track. Lovell able to put it down there on the bottom, and that's where you want to be. The number 99 trying to run the middle. Look at his entrance into the corner. Cannot diamond it. A little bit of an ill-handling car here for Jacob Simpson as the number 12 Cal Lovell. Now all over the rear bumper, rear view mirror, full of it is the number 99 machine. As he looks up in it, he's going to drift up the track once again there, leaving the door wide open for Cal Lovell. Put Lovell into that lead.
Yeah, looking for his 8th victory of the year. Put the the UPS Ford back into the race lead. That number 12, our current point leader, as Todd said, our pole sitter a little while ago, and now Cal Lovell has chased that interval down. And now, resurrected himself once again as the 100th lap mark, 20 laps to go in the Xfinity Series race here. Race number 26 for the Hobo Racing Xfinity Series. Cal Lovell once again with the lead. Jacob Simpson second. Isaac Johnson third. Best battle on the racetrack, Todd, looks to be around for position number 4. Jeff Rogers at 91 has it. Just the case at 31. Those guys are racing tooth and nail for that 4th spot now down the front stretch.
Yeah, tooth and nail. These guys are grouped together here. You got 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You got, of course, the 72 of Isaac Johnson. You got Rogers and Stakanis in that number 31 machine. That's your top 5 right now. And those guys are pretty much grouped together here. Going to be a whale of a battle right now. Pretty much following each other's tire tracks. They're just waiting it out here as we come up to complete lap 101 here this time by. Now we're going to start the 102 lap here as the number 91 of Rogers down onto the bottom side. Oh, it makes contact with the 72 of Isaac Johnson. Isaac Johnson hard into the outside wall, and I believe that's going to bring out a yellow flag, Phil.
Oh, definitely yellow flag on the speedway. Hard contact off of turn number 2. The 91 of Jeff Rogers into the 72 of Isaac Johnson, and Speedy got put there through the laundry off of turn number 2. A hard hit, but it's short track racing at its finest, and our longest green flag run of the night. And Joe, it was terrific racing out there, but it's Richmond. You get through these tight corners, especially the exit of turn 2. You can run on a racetrack awfully fast. You get that right front tire a little bit hot, you can certainly, especially the inside lane. Jeff Rogers getting into the outside of the 72, and tough break because that was a good little run these has going right there.
Yes, sir, guys. Inside 20 laps to go. Guys are getting antsy. They know it's go time, and you can abuse that right front tire pretty easily here, and that's the result of what we're about to watch here. We're going to focus on the 91 of Jeff Rogers, the 72 of Isaac Johnson. 91 dives down to the bottom here in turn 1. Definitely has a preferred lane. Isaac starts to come down a little bit, but the 91 comes up. They get together in the middle of the corner. Taps that left rear quarter panel. That number 72 machine of Isaac Johnson sends him up into the fence, unfortunately. Don't think any other cars are damaged in that. Isaac just kind of sits up there by the wall, and he'll have to go down there and repair some damage and try to get himself back out there with 4 fresh tires. So tough break for Isaac. Just hard racing inside the top 5 there, guys. Trying to get themselves up there in position to potentially go and steal a win and get themselves some more TV time on air here tonight. Back up to you guys in the booth.
It's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out here at the Richmond International Raceway. I'm going to throw this question down to the YouTube chat box. Who's it going to be here this evening? Who's going to win this race? I know you got a favorite out there, so let's hear it down here in YouTube chat box, YouTube land. Who's it going to be? Who is going to win this race here at the Richmond International Raceway? I know you got a favorite, like I said. Let us know here, and we'll try to get it out here on live out here on air. So I don't know who I'm going to pick, Phil. I mean, we haven't picked in a while, but we're going to throw it. We're going to throw it to a commercial here real quick while we ponder who we're going to pick this evening. We'll come back right live at you.
When it comes to keeping up with maintenance on their homes, most homeowners overlook the heaviest moving object in the home, their garage door. At Apple Door Systems, we can not only fix your garage door, but we also offer our Gold Star annual maintenance plan to make sure it's operating properly and safely. This ensures that your garage door will last for years to come.
Call Appledore today or visit us online at appledore.com.
All right, special thanks to the guys at Hobo, and especially our sponsor tonight, Apple Door Systems, one of the great sponsors at Hobo. And anytime we come over here, they provide us some commercial breaks. And if you watch any kind of, national racing coverage on TV, those, broadcasts filled with commercials. Well, we're just straight up pros here. We usually don't do commercial breaks, but we appreciate and we'll sprinkle them in anytime a great league like Hobo does that. And thanks to Apple Door Systems for being a part of it here tonight. But Todd, we were just talking here before we went to that brief break, asking the chat box, who's it going to be to come to victory lane? Seeing the predictions starting to sprinkle in a little bit. See one prediction there, the 41 of Josh Boyer. He's up at that 4th spot here as we get ready for the next restart. Anywhere inside the top 5 right now, if this race has told us any story about, the quick caution flags after a green flag, the green, the quick yellow, staying out on the, on this strategy right now for these guys among the top 4, I kind of like that call. But if you're going to make a pick, who's it going to be in victory lane?
I guess I would have to pick first here this evening, and I'm just looking up and down, and I know some people have had some trouble, but I'm going to go with Herman Reese in the 73 machine. I know he's been kind of mired towards the back, but now running in that 2nd spot. I'm going to go with Herman Reese.
Joe, you're next. Who do you think?
I'll make it quick. I can't believe Todd didn't take him, but I'm taking the 12 of Cal Lovell. He's been one of the fastest cars all night. I'm taking that number 12 machine to win this race.
I'm going to take the 46 of Aaron Maynard. I think the lead is where you want to be right now as we get the restart here. 13 laps to go. 108 of 120 going on the board here, so it's 12 laps to go. Common Core math playing effect here live on the Full Velocity Network. The field under green toward turn 3. Our new tire is going to pay off, or is that, strategy play staying out going to work? We're about to find out, Todd. They are racing 2-3 wide down the front stretch.
Yeah, it looks like contact made, and Lovell around in that number 12 machine. I'm not sure if he got it right, though. As it looked like he was sideways, and then he is actually straight going, but I believe that's going to bring out a yellow flag.
Yeah, yellow flag on the speedway as we're getting ready to put 110 on the board. So getting down to those precious few laps here. And like I said, I think that money, situation there with staying out on those old tires. Aaron Maynard, the 46, Herman Reese, those 2 guys elected to stay out. As did Josh Boyer, the 41. He surrendered some positions out there. Jacob Simpson able to sneak on by, as was Jeff Rogers. Not quite as lucky was Cal Lovell on the 12, although Todd, with the contact, he didn't lose many positions. He's going to still be locked inside the top 10. So as we restack and repack, getting ready for a restart, you can't really say anybody on those fresh tires may be eliminated right now.
No, I mean, but he did go sideways. We did see a lot of tire smoke, so he had to flat spot his tires. I'm going to cover a couple of these guys. 99 was picked also in chat in the 78 of Ryan Johnson by Brian Wolf. But Joe, how much did that 12 hurt his tires? You got the replay queued up already. I know you do.
Johnny on the spot here. Oops, had the interface open. My bad, guys. First mistake of the night. It happens. 12 machine of Cal Lovell, my pick. Black Cloud's back with me, unfortunately. He was up there battling with Mike Halgrimson in that 62 machine. First time we've talked about that 62 out there on old tire strategy. And Cal gets bold here, guys. Takes it 3 wide off of turn 4, trying to make up some ground. That 41 machine comes up, just kind of runs out of racetrack, continues to come up, shoves Cal up into the 62. The 99 was starting to come actually up into the fray there of Jacob Simpson, and we were almost 4 wide there. The 41 continues to make contact with Cal. You see him right here. He's 90 degrees sideways, definitely flat spotting those tires. I believe that's what brought out the caution, because Cal actually got the thing back straight, but I guess the Hobo Racing officials thought that car had gone around just enough and made just enough contact with everybody else that they were going to throw the caution flag out there, get these guys caught back up to the field, get everybody packed and wound and tight, and let the safety car get out there, pace them around for a few laps, let all the guys' heads cool down just a little bit, and throw this thing back under green. So that's the cause of our caution. Cal definitely hurting with his tire situation there a little bit. We know tire wear is a big thing at Richmond, and he definitely wore the tires out just a little bit with his 90-degree spin, as we'll call it. So not sure if he's going to be much of a contender unless he goes back down pit road to take more tires. But, you know, with it being this late in the race, anything can happen. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so back here live on the Full Velocity Network is if you guys could only hear someday, maybe we'll do us an outtake video one of these days, and you only knew the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and all the side talk and, you know, just the joking that goes on aside. I don't know, half the time when we throw it to each other how some of us can talk half the time because there's usually a good story in the background or something going on. So we'll restack here as we're getting down to these precious few laps here live on the Full Velocity Network. If you're liking what you're seeing, what you're hearing, you're part of the ultimate esport experience here tonight. The high-octane energy, the sonic boom of sound wave, the maximum impact showcase, just like we have here as part of the new revolution, which is the Full Velocity Network. Find us at fullvelocitynetwork.com. Check out our broadcast rates, guys. I think you'll all be really pleased with it. If you're out there racing it, we want to showcase it. Any sim is welcome. We'll talk to you and see what we have out there. We love to showcase everything you have going on, just like this awesome league here we have here tonight. The Hobo Racing League, the Xfinity Series here, running on a Sunday night. Find these guys at hoboracing.com. A fantastic group led by Steve Rubino, all the group over here. Great cast of characters, awesome guys, great racing, top-notch group. So if you're looking for a great place to race, hoboracing.com. Very thrilled to have them as a partner here live on the Full Velocity Network. But Todd, the lights are out atop the pace car. We look up front of the field to reset. Aaron Maynard with the race lead, Herman Reese of 73. You look back, further back, you find Jacob Simpson, Jeff Rogers, those two guys on the fresher tires. Josh Boyer out there on the older tires. Jeff Stakanis, one of those, and Cal Lovell currently 7th. We know he's fast. Does he have enough time to get there? We're going to restart now with 5 laps remaining. What are we going to see here in 5 laps?
Well, 6 laps remaining there, Phil, as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. The Common Core kind of screwed Phil up again. I told you to stop using that, Phil. Bad Phil. 46 out to an early advantage here, but look at the 99. Look how aggressively he gets down to the bottom. The number 99 machine all over the rear bumper. The 46, he's sideways. It looks like dirt track in here. The 46 makes contact with the 99. The 91 into the 73. Oh, carnage on the back straight away. A lot going on there.
And the question is this the race back for the checkered flag? Is more carnage off of turn number 4. Contact between Herman Reese and Jeff Stakanis. Both those guys pile drive the outside wall. So much going on. Joe is going to have a field day trying to get back on these replays, but caution flag on the speedway. 116 laps in. The question I have, Todd, are we going to see a restart here with precious laps running out?
I don't know, Phil. The answer that you may come up with is probably just as good as the answer I'm going to come up with. I'm thinking we may see a 1 lap green checkered, but it's going to be iffy. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. Joe Allen, who's got the replay queued up, and there was a lot of things going on in that one.
Yes, sir, guys. We're going to have to break this up into segments. The first accident that brought out the caution, the 99, the 46, the 73 of Herman Reese, 91 of Jeff Rogers, all these guys up there racing hard for a race win. 46 gets real loose off of turn 2, bounces down off the 99, 2-wheeling there, up on his side now. So that was big. Then the 91 gets up into the 73 of Herman Reese. That sends Herman Reese all the way up the track. And then we see the 99 down there to the bottom. So we'll follow along with Herman Reese off of turn 4 here, because I believe this is where the second part of the wreck was. Cal Lovell on the 12 all the way down to the bottom. The 31 of Jeff Stakanis goes up into the 73 of Herman Reese. Herman Reese just a pinball bouncing machine under this caution, guys. So a lot of action all over the racetrack. Don't see any other accidents. I think the 62 might have been involved in something. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't see anything else, guys. So I think we got lucky and hit both of those in the same instance there. They were right around each other. So a lot of things unfolding here, and as you said, guys, the big question that remains, are we going to get maybe a 1-lap, 2-lap shootout here? It's very possible. Back up to you guys in the booth. It's going to get crazy.
Oh, if we see a green flag, it's certainly going to do so. See if we can't do a quick full field rundown. We have done one all night long. We've had so much conversing, the action happening here, the caution flags here, the resetting and reshuffling of the field. Let's see if we can't knock one out. Currently your race leader, the 91 of Jeff Rogers. Cal Lovell is second. Jeff Stakane is third. Herman Reese is fourth. Duke Sorensen currently fifth. 6 through 10, we find off to the plant Mike Halgrimson in the number 62. The number 2 car of Rich Fenkel is in that 8th spot. 9th, MT Johnson. Emma Dog, John Palmer currently rounds out your top 10. Josh Boyer, 11th. Jeff Fugate, 12th. Wild Bill, 13th. Rich Knappick is 14th. Haven't talked a lot about Rich tonight. And Ryan Johnson, marred deep in the field, currently 15th. 16th, we find Aaron Maynard. Jacob Simpson, the 99. He is currently 17th, the last car on the racetrack. Rest of the drivers came out on the racetrack tonight. 25 started, but all these guys back behind the wall. Rob Keller, Isaac Johnson, Manny Diaz, Steve Rubino, Kennard Furtick, Ron Simpson, Roger Nevelsick, and Dan Rubino. Those guys all showed up tonight as part of this 25-car field. They're all behind the wall. That is your current full field rundown. Hoping for a restart here. That's sponsored by the Full Velocity Network. Find us at fullvelocitynetwork.com. The question is, Todd, are we going to see a one-lap shootout? The field is in turn number 3 and 4. What do you think the call is going to be this time around?
I think the pace lights are going to stay on, and I think it's all over here tonight. It's not something I want to say. I'm really hoping that it was going to stay, they'd go off, but they're indeed going to stay on here, and we're going to finish this one under yellow. And we had an amazing race up to that yellow flag there to get that and get a winner here. So as long as, barring no unnecessary alien abductions or running out of fuel or some stupid random mechanical failure that seems to happen every once in a while, I believe Rogers is going to be your winner.
And nothing short of maybe pulling a Mark Martin at Daytona many, many years ago. Consider me guilty of pulling off under caution flag. But Jeff Rogers, if he could bring that car under power up, to the start-finish line, he will be declared the winner of race number 26 for the Hobo Racing Xfinity Series tonight at Richmond as these guys prepare for the chase here that begins, I believe, next week for these guys as well. Talk to Steve about that later. I believe 10 drivers will advance into the chase, and we'll hope to update that and maybe be back here and showcase this great series live on Full Velocity. But the yellow and the checkered flag over the field, and Jeff Rogers is going to pick up the win here live tonight on Full Velocity. Cal Lovell second, Jeff Stakane is third, Herman Reese fourth, and Duke Sorensen. Todd will round out our top 5.
Yeah, a good run here for most of these guys as you round out the top 5 there. And running in the 6th spot was the 48 of Austin LaPlante. Hale Grimson in the 62 finishing up 7th, and that was an amazing feat there. The number 2, who you've seen go lap down but get the lucky dog, he's going to finish up 8th. MT Johnson in the 06, he's going to finish 9th. 10th is John the Dog Palmer in that 108 machine. Boyer is going to finish up in that 11th spot. Fugate 12th. 13th, Wild Bill. Good run for Wild Bill out there in that number 93 machine. He had a tore up race car, but he ended up in 13th. Number 6 is going to finish up in that number 14th spot. Ryan Johnson 15th. Simpson going to be 1 lap down in the rears in that number 99 machine. He's going to finish 16th. 17th was Maynard. And again, 1 lap down. Keller, Isaac Johnson, Manny Diaz, Steve Rubino. The other ones I could not get to read there, Phil, because I did have some results messed up on us. But 22nd through 25th, all those guys were retired early from this event.
Yeah, Steve Rubino, Kennard Furtick, Ron Simpson, Roger Nebelsick, and Dan Rubino rounded out our field here tonight as we move toward the Full Velocity post-race show tonight, sponsored by these guys at Hobo Racing. Jeff Rogers going to go to victory lane and celebrate with Joe. I'll send Todd down to see if we can't talk to our runner-up finisher, Cal Lovell. I'm going to see if we can talk to our third-place finisher here tonight up on the podium, and that being the number 31 of Jeff Stakanis. Jeff, it's Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. Do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, Jeff, congratulations on a third-place spot there. Tell us about that run there to that last caution flag. That was an intense race between you and Herman there.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought he was a little further back than that, and I really thought the 12 was closer than that. Me and him, he was kind of my wall. It was kind of fun. He had a beat car.
As Todd was saying, there was a lot of donuts on a lot of race cars out there tonight, and not donuts in the, the good sense where, get a little bit hungry and think of putting a couple of those away sounds kind of good. But, no mistake about it, a tough race for everybody out here tonight. A lot of beat up sheet metal, hopefully with tempers, kind of in check, but not indicative whatsoever. As a guy that I know calls Hobo Racing home, you guys do a lot of great racing night after night. Certainly not indicative of a little bit what we saw here, but for that little brief green flag run we did see, pretty intense racing in a very stout field you guys have over here at Hobo.
Yeah, we don't normally have too many races like this, but every once in a while you get one, and fortunately it was a TV race. But yeah, I mean, once the car and the tires warmed up, it was definitely racy, pretty good.
Well, I think we've all been on the wrong end of those nights, a time or two. So definitely not indicative of the great racing these guys do. But Jeff, once again, as always, great to catch up with you. Hope to do this again real soon. But while we have you here for the first time in our current venture, the Full Velocity Network, give a shout out to all your friends, your fans, your sponsors, anybody who may be watching us live on YouTube tonight. The floor is all yours.
Well, hey, I wanted to thank you guys, and it was really, really good that you guys could do this. Also, I'd like to thank Bino and Steve and all my buddies at Hobo. It's fun to race with these guys. These guys are a hoot. So, thank you very much.
All right. Well, it's Jeff Stakanis finishing up third tonight, and you guys are the stars of the show. We just get to come call the action, Jeff. But thanks for a couple of good words there, and congratulations on a third place run. Hope to do this again with you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Stakanis bringing the 31 home in the third spot tonight, but I'm going to throw it down to my broadcast partner, Mr. 212, Todd Stanton. I believe he's got his win back about him, and I believe, Todd, you've caught up on a runner-up finisher, and that, of course, Cal Lovell in that number 12.
Yes, indeed. I've caught up on the driver, the number 12, Cal Lovell. Cal, you were Joe's pick tonight. I get to interview you, but you were Joe's pick. It looked like you wanted that to stay green there towards the end. You had fresh tires. You were ready to pounce at any given time. You were the class of the field all evening long, being the fastest car that we've seen out there tonight, and just coming up one place short, but a second place finish. Really nothing to hang your head about.
No, not really. I don't think I had the freshest tires that day. Given that, almost spun it out. Somehow saved it. I don't know how, but gotta give congratulations to Jeff. He was at the right place at the right time. And, yeah, I wish we had one more lap, but just how it is.
Oh, sometimes that's how it is. It played out here tonight. Like you said, you led many laps here early on in the going. You had a fast car, able to get back up to second. You may have not had the freshest tires, but I believe you had fresher tires than the guy in front of you that did win this race here tonight. And but it was a good race all in all for the 12 team, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We restarted 7th on that last restart, and somehow made our way up to second. And it was a miracle.
Well, Cal, I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank whoever we'd like to thank here this evening. And again, congratulations on your second place finish.
I got to thank, I guess, my parents. Maybe they're watching. I don't know. But, yeah. Got to thank you guys for broadcasting the race, and I can't wait to watch it.
Again, that's driver of the number 12, Cal Lovell, finishing home second here tonight. But I'm going to throw it down to victory lane with probably a static Jeff Rogers driving that number 91. Joe, take it away.
Yes, sir, guys. Down here dodging Gatorade showers, beer showers, Coke showers, every type of shower you could possibly imagine. A very, very, very happy Jeff Rogers in that number 91 machine down here in victory lane. Jeff, first time we've seen you live here on the air. First time winner for the Hobo Racing League over here on Full Velocity Network. Congratulations, buddy. Tell us about that last lap and race to the checkered flag there. Well, we'll say the caution flag would eventually turn into the checkered flag.
I don't know. I came down the back straightaway. I think I was 4th or 5th. Went down the back straightaway, and I saw cars spinning, and I kind of had a gut feeling that they were gonna slide up the track, and they did. And I went low, and I missed them, and I just tried to keep my foot in the gas because I knew there was another car behind me who probably had more momentum than I did, and just hoping I could beam back to the line, and I did.
Well, sometimes it pays to be in the right place at the right time, and that was certainly you, Jeff. little bit of a slower paced race tonight. Not obviously conducive to what we usually see over here at Hobo Racing. It looked like on fresh tires, cold tires, I should say, on these restarts, it looked like it was really, really treacherous out there. Tell us about how the race went for you for the most part tonight.
Well, at the beginning it was hard to find a rhythm because of there were so many yellows, but it went it went pretty well. I just I kept I ran a different line than most of these guys were running. I was running a little lower than they were. They were sweeping all the way up to the wall and coming down. So half the time when I was going in to try and pass them on the inside, they'd cut my nose off, and that happened like all night long because I was running a totally different line than these guys were. They were running all the way up against the wall and diamond in the corners, and I wasn't really doing that. I don't know if it was just my steering ratio or what, but I just couldn't run that same line. But I just pacing myself. It's a 120 lap race. It's not 20 laps. It's not 40 laps. It's 120. So I just prepared myself for the end.
Well, Jeff, that preparation certainly played key. You ended up sneaking up there, right place, right time, snuck by the accident that eventually would end the race, and claimed yourself your first victory here on the Full Velocity Network. And hopefully we see many, many more of those to come here in the future. But congratulations on an awesome run tonight. Awesome finish, and getting that elusive first win on the network here. We know everybody's a little jaded when you start some of these races. Everybody wants to perform to the best of their abilities, and you came out on top tonight. So congratulations, sir. But I'm going to hand you the mic real quick. If you have any friends, any family, any sponsors, anybody else that you'd like to thank that may be watching or may watch back the race feed here over the next couple of weeks, the floor is all yours, sir. Thank who you want to thank.
I'd like to thank Steve for keeping the league going and all his support in the sim racing community. I'd like to thank you guys for televising the race. I'd like to give a shout out to Peter Milano at pitstoppitbull.com, my girlfriend Teresa, and I just want to thank everybody for showing up.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is our race winner, that number 91 machine piloted by Jeff Rogers, first time winner here on the Full Velocity Network. So congratulations to Jeff. Congratulations to all of our podium finishers tonight. Todd, Phil, a little bit of a slow start getting going here on the network, a little bit of pre-race jitters, broadcast jitters, everybody wanting to perform, but I don't think the second half of the race was anywhere near what the first half of the race was. The second half is usually what we expect to see out of some of these, out of the Hobo guys when we come over here and we put on shows for them. And that finish, Phil, that finish was very, very impressive, and it was really fun. I was hoping they were going to get that thing back under green for maybe a one-lap shootout, but, all's well that ends well. And congratulations to that number 91 machine. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. If this race lacked anything tonight, we didn't see a lot of green flag racing per se, but this race did not lack for action. I know a lot of the casual race fans that will maybe go to a local short track on a Friday or Saturday night. You bring the wife or the kids. We want to see them crashing up. Well, we saw a lot of tore up sheet metal tonight. Short track racing at its finest, Todd, as a guy who's been around the short track circuits, especially on the dirt heat for a long time. I think everybody at one night or another has just been through races like this where you just kind of, as drivers, can't seem to get out of your own way. And, it makes for a long night, maybe makes for a little bit of a miserable night, especially per se being at the admin controls. And you certainly feel bad for guys like Bino and for Steve who, sit up in the admin chairs for an event. But, short track racing at its finest, take it or leave it. It's good racing all around. Wrecks are going to happen. Sure, we saw more tonight, but these guys at Hobo, they're a top-notch bunch, and I'm sure we're going to see them again on our airwaves real soon, and I guarantee you're going to see a hell of a race next time around.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see a good race with these guys. These guys have put on good races in the past there, Phil, and it's just one of those things. We all have these nights. Like you said, we all have these nights up in the chairs. We have our nights as broadcasters. We have our nights as drivers. It's just one of those things that they got it going there towards the end. They put on a whale of a show. It's just unfortunate that we finished under yellow here tonight. But this is by no means what Hobo puts on there, because we've seen a lot more broadcasts from Hobo and the fantastic races that they put on. And again, towards the end of that race, we've seen what Hobo can do.
Well, we certainly hope to see Hobo Racing live on Full Velocity again real soon. So Hope those guys have all enjoyed the show. Hope all our viewers out there in YouTube land enjoyed the show tonight. Next up for us is a very, very busy trek for us on Full Velocity is coming all to fruition now is next weekend, Saturday and Sunday night, a weekend twin bill for us on the Full Velocity Network. Going to see a lot of those in the next couple of months, but next Saturday night, a very special event on September the 16th. We make a trip back to SMO Hardcore. It's been quite a while since we've been over and got to see the Jamie and Kenny Tedder and Bob Tompkins, who we, obviously see in our chat box every night on FEN, but get to see Bob out there on the racetrack and Andy and all the guys that, call SMO Hardcore home. A very special race, the Wounded Warrior Project tribute race from the Manassas Speedway. We'll be there next Saturday night live on our airwaves, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope you all tune in for that. And then on Sunday, if it couldn't get any better, the start of the FTF chase for the Cup on Sunday nights. We're going to have all 10 weeks of the FTF Jones Cup Series on our airwaves, live flag to flag on Full Velocity. You'll see every lap of the chase for the championship for the Jones Cup Series for our friends at FTF. So tune in for that next Sunday night. It's just the start of what is going to become a very action-packed, high-energy good time, as we always do here with the ultimate esport experience known as the Full Velocity Network. So until next time, for Joe in the booth doing a great job as always, for Todd Stanton alongside, so good to have my broadcast partner back at full speed. My name is Phil Lacasse. It is balls out, no doubt. We'll see you next time with another great installment of Full Velocity TV right here on the Full Velocity Network. Good night.